little better for a while. Suddenly, all the day they were stressed and obsessed, and then finally they get to their, wherever they keep their drinks, or to go to the bar and then pour themselves. It calms down the noise machine in the head for a while, but there's a price. The price is you're moving towards unconsciousness. But on your way towards unconsciousness, you feel a little better. So drugs, whatever it may be, smoke, have a smoke. So this is not the way we want to go. So there's no smoking here, no alcohol, and if one or two of you have had a couple of drinks before coming here, don't feel guilty. It's fine, that's what is. You're still awake, I assume. So there is another way of becoming free of the conditioned mind that you inherited, that you came already into this world with. The ego, of course, looks for liberation from its unsatisfying, unsatisfactory state. It looks, the ego knows this is what, it knows something is missing, but it always looks in the wrong place. As we already said, it looks there but never here. So it never goes deep into life, into what is. It ignores the simple reality of the present moment and looks towards the next moment for satisfaction, for that which I can add that will make me complete. Hence its obsession with future, with the next moment. And hence everybody lives that way, almost everybody, as if the next moment were more important than this moment. And isn't that strange? It's a form of mental illness because the next moment doesn't even exist. Except as a thought in your head. That's the only absolute reality that future has, is it exists as a thought in your head. And it is fine, as for practical purposes, it's a helpful thought that there is such a thing as future, because it enables you to make an appointment. So it's helpful. We got here because of future, because of this thought that there is such a thing as future. But there isn't, because nobody has ever seen it, or touched it, or experienced it. And since nobody has ever seen, touched, or experienced it, we can assume that it doesn't exist. And obviously it doesn't, because when the future comes, it's the now. The next moment comes that you wanted to get to, and finally you get there, and it turns out, oh, it's the now again. And many people experience that, even people who make it. This city is big on making it. So some of the audience have made it, and they're here miraculously, because obviously there must be something missing. And others are still perhaps hoping to make it, and perhaps believing that coming here will help them. It might in some strange way, but let's not go into that now. There's something missing, and whatever you achieve, you will find yourself in the now. That's the weird thing. When finally you move into that big house, right wherever it is, up on the mountain with the greatest view in the world, And then you sit there in a big armchair and you look around and there's a satisfaction. I made it, I made it, I made it. And then it turns out, after a few days, oh, it's still the now. I thought there was more to it. When I projected myself into the next moment or the one after that, when I projected myself into that situation, that was so great in my mental projection, and now that it's here, it's just this. And even the big house, after a while, the novelty wears off. You invite a few, you have some dinner parties so that everybody admires the house, and that's good. Get recognition. And then it was, oh, what now? I don't even need to work anymore, you can just sit all day. Okay, I've made it. Not enough, because it's only the now. And the ego doesn't like it. And so it carries on looking. More experiences, relationships, sex, drugs, dangerous, going to this, experience that, travel there. And wherever you go, you find yourself, you sit in your hotel room or on the beach in Fiji. It's the now. And the ego runs away from it, not realizing that what it has been looking for is hiding here. No matter what form this now takes, it is hiding where the conditioned mind, which is the ego, has never really looked. It always made the now, at best, into a means to an end. Okay, this now, I need this now because it enables me to get to that more important moment, which is the future. Okay, a stepping stone, best of times. Or the ego had reduced the now to an obstacle. And for some people that is their normal existence. Every day long, whatever comes into the now, they look at it as an obstacle. Get out of the way, I want to get there. Every person that comes in, no, I want something else. The ego always wants not this, it wants to use this to get there. It wants to use every person that comes into now to get there. So every person the ego meets, okay, are you going to enable me to get to the next more important moment? How can I use you to get where I want to get to? The now is made into an obstacle. Or for people who are very strongly identified with the egoic mind, they make the now into an enemy. Continuously complaining, it's never enough. They should, why don't they? This is never, they can go into the most wonderful place and after 5 minutes they found the one thing that's not working as it should. And they're complaining, yeah, they should do something about it. If not, I'm going to do something about it. And if they're not complaining verbally, they're complaining in their heads. They're complaining about situations, about other people, about what's happening, or complaining that something that should be happening is not happening. This sounds insane, because it is insane. But it is not nothing personal. It is not recognized as insanity because it is fairly normal. And if it's normal, then it's not recognized as an illness. So that is the dysfunctional state of consciousness that is condemned to perpetual discontent, perpetual unhappiness, perpetual upsets. Conditions are so upsetting always. Life is so upsetting. People are upsetting. Without people, maybe it would be okay, but hell is other people, said Jean-Paul Sartre, the philosopher. Hell, the literal translation of what he said is actually, hell is the others. The others. Oh, and the ego is big on emphasizing the otherness of other people. It loves other, so it continuously is critical and suspicious and judgmental, because here's me and they're the others. Me, and the more I can emphasize the otherness of others, the more strengthened I feel in my fictitious sense of self. So some people have this hard ego shell, and everybody they come into contact with is basically an abstract entity. They have made, through mental abstraction, made other human beings into just thought forms by pronouncing judgments and believing in their judgments. But they've already done it to themselves because they live through a conceptual identity. This is who I am. Thought forms, memories, that's me. No, it's not. It's just thoughts. So, the end point of entry into the awakened state of consciousness is the present moment, where the egoic self has never even looked, doesn't want to know. So anybody who is ready can open themselves to this and see, okay, let's find out what's so great about this moment. Okay. Then you look, and then the ego says, well, this moment, there's so many moments every day, so many moments happen, so where am I going to look? Which moment? And of course, that is a delusion again. There are not many moments, and you can verify that in your own experience by asking yourself, is it still the now? Yes. At any time, I suggest as a spiritual practice, tomorrow, so-called tomorrow, it's a thought form. When it comes, it's the now. So, or even tonight, when you walk out of here, it's the now. When you get home, it's the now. Ask yourself sometimes, is this still the now? Am I here now? Yes. Because there's nothing else. It's always now. There are not many moments, only the form in which this moment appears to you changes continuously. At this moment, the form is this room, people in this room, the voice, the space around you, and whatever thoughts may be going through your head, hopefully very few, and whatever emotions may be in here, or feelings, or physical feelings, that's all part of what the form that this moment is taking. This is the form. Now, the egoic consciousness or unconsciousness looks at the form and says, not enough, that's not what I wanted, this isn't it. And then immediately looks away, or it runs away, or it internally resists it, it judges it, there's a contraction, not this. This should not be happening. Either this should not be happening or something should be happening, but it isn't. So the spiritual practice is a simple one. The primordial, the most fundamental spiritual practice is to take your attention into the present moment. You might as well, because you never have anything else.